All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Liberia Rise. I am your host, Mr. Augustine Sherff, and I'm here with my good friend, my brother, and my pastor, Dr. Emmanuel George. Mr. George, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing very great, thank you. How are you today, sir?
Man, so far so good. You're always busy doing something on the road, doing something. But it's good that you can take time to at least join us. Today, to those who have not seen the flyer, today our discussion is going to surround what's happening or what happened in Kinjor with BMMC and the protest, the devastation, and hopefully we'll get someone from Liberia who will be joining us who is very close to that particular story, who might be able to give us some insight as we go. Um, but it is going to be a great discussion, and this, I think Liberia is such a small country that whatever affects one part of Liberia, it has a ripple effect. I mean, if you think this is a joke, or maybe it just sounds good for me to say, I can think way back to 2013, 2014, when first we started having that Ebola epidemic. They say, oh, it's only on the other side of the country. It's only in Lo-Fi. Before you knew it, the entire country was overwhelmed. And so we are going to be discussing the Kinjor protest, the incident that took place there. Mr. George is going to join me. But, we want to say welcome to the broadcast, share the broadcast, invite others. We will have a number here. If you are close to the story, feel free to give us a call and be part of that discussion. We will take a quick musical break. And when we come back, Mr. George is going to join me and we will get this discussion on the road. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Mr. George, how are you doing? I hope you are situated to get this discussion on the road. I would like for you to introduce our topic, and then we can just kind of go from there and just jump in the discussion.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm safe. I'm back beside the road. I'm actually in North Carolina for the funeral of a good friend of mine, Henry Bello Duba. It's good to be here this evening. As you are aware, a few weeks ago, there was uprising, destruction of properties, and we have some lives that were lost in Kinjor, in a mining community owned and run by the Western Cluster Incorporated, which is an independent company owned by an Indian mining conglomerate. We all know that our country has challenges, but we also know that there are opportunities as well. So this afternoon, we're going to be discussing discussing what actually happened, what is the story behind the story. As you are aware, Uncovered, this edition in Liberia Rise Uncovered looks at the story behind the story. So hopefully this evening we're going to have one of our brothers who have actually been in the forefront of the discussion around the whole issue, have a greater understanding, joining us from Liberia. As you are aware, it's the month of Ramadan. He's about closing his fast, so we're going to hopefully get him online to discuss this issue. But we'll take a short musical break, and when we come back, Mr. Sherff and I will start a conversation, and hopefully we should get Mr. Fanny Parker online to join us in this conversation.
All right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stand. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful, sweet Liberia. Land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia. This land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the broadcast. Welcome back to the show. Again, this is Liberia Rise. I'm one of your hosts here, Augustine Sherff, and I'm here with Dr. Emmanuel George. We will hopefully receive a brother who's going to be joining us from Liberia to give us more information on this discussion we're having today. Well, Dr. George, let's begin by just laying the groundwork for those in the diaspora, for people who are not familiar too much with Liberia. Let's begin by describing this part of Liberia, where is the west coast, the western part of the country. Let's begin by just describing this location where this incident took place that we are going to be discussing today.
Yeah, the Western Cluster Mining Group has contract from the Liberian government to operate in three areas in Liberia, as in the western part of Liberia. We're talking about Bombing, Grand Cape Mount County on that side. So you are going to the Douala side and then moving towards the border with Sierra Leone. And Kinjor is actually one of the mining areas that is in Grand Cape Mount County. Western Cluster was in Liberia during the time of President Ellen Johnson's leave. They closed operation in 2011, and they came back in 2022 to have another round of conversation with the Liberian government and enter an MOU agreement. Now, given that, if you all remember, between from 2005 to 2011, and after that, the price of iron ore on the international market dropped drastically. So it was not a valuable commodity. But in recent times, the price of iron ore has been going up. Construction is on the increase around the world. A lot of, even in Liberia, for example, you see a lot of construction going on. And most of the construction, you need steel rods and iron ore. Steel rods are created from iron ore and other things you need with this massive infrastructures development going on all around the world. So there have been this increase, and Western Cluster came back in 2022 and sign an MOU with the government of the Republic of Liberia. But even with that MOU were problematic. One, there was a time that the Senate found it difficult accepting the MOU. There was a court case signed by the citizens of Cape Mount County with Western Cluster not meeting up to its part of the bargain, a cooperative agreement, and the government not actually getting the level of permission they need. So in 2023, so there have always been this here and there with Western Cluster, but in recent time, there have been questions raised as to the way how they take care of the workers. There have been questions raised about the way the mine. I think miners has died within the mine because of the danger of even going in that mining facility. And that's what led to a protest of Liberian citizens against the working conditions that they had working with Western Cluster. And within that time that the police was called in, many of us saw the videos, the pictures online. But we were waiting for Vanny to come in because he works with Western Cluster. He part of that area. He has been in the forefront of some of the talks, so we were trying to get him to come on. He's still breaking his he gave us all information behind the information so that we can have a great appreciation of what is going on. Let me say that we had contacted the Minister of Lands and Mines, and he was waiting to come on the show. We know the current government of President Joseph Boakai has been engaging with Western Cluster. We know that the problem started during the WIA administration, and that the people of that area felt that the WIA administration was not doing much to solve the problem. We also saw there was a time that Representative Yeke Koluba went into that particular area to campaign because of the lackadaisical, if we can use that word, approach of the Liberian government towards that. So it was also part of mine is a political campaign issue, and that's why we reached out to the Minister of Lands and Mines to join. He did plan to join us, but I believe he's on the official trip. That's why we may have or don't have him today. But so we needed to get it from both sides so we can really bring the story up from what the government is doing and also what is going on currently with the cluster. So I will continue. I will try to call. I'm calling Vanny again to see if we can get him on the line to join us. His internet is not working.
$0.52 remaining in your account. Please enter the telephone number you wish to dial now, or press star.
I would just, so, as Dr. George was saying, when you look at the working condition, I don't know if you have done any research, you have looked up anything to see what those working conditions are. You would come to see that, poor facility, poor working condition, and people are not being cared for. And these people, they work for penny on the dollar. Let's just put it that way. And these companies, they go over there and they enrich themselves and they take from the country, they extract everything they want to extract, but they do not want to bring about development in a place. They do not want to actually help the community to develop or to even help the people to have good working condition. And because of that, I think the people just got to a place where they got frustrated, and that frustration just overboiled, and it eventually just went over. And the protest was, in my opinion, the protest actually started very peacefully, and these people were just going to actually put their demands on the table, which is not unreasonable. Even in other parts of the world, let's say where we live, our parts of the world, you will see that companies are held to a standard. If you are going to operate certain business, that particular business have to meet a certain standard. The employees have to be compensated at a particular rate. Matter of fact, the states actually, most of the states, they said the minimum wage now. Minimum wage is something federal have their own minimum wage, states have their own minimum wage. And so all of these standards have to put in place. When I go to work, I don't go to work, and if I need to go use the restroom, I have to go to the next gas station to go look for a place. it is required that my employer will provide some of those incentives. And so the people of Kinjor, they are actually working and they are producing, doing a lot of things for these companies. And these companies were not doing anything to help the people. So we will bring Vani on. Vani is going to be here. I think Mr. George having on the call right now. We will bring him on, and he is going to be part of the
So,
discussion.
Sherry, we have Mr. Vani on the line. Can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear him.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have joining us from Liberia on the line is Mr. Vani Parker. He's one of the workers with Kinjor. Vani, welcome to Liberia Shall Rise Uncover program. How are you today, sir?
Well, I'm okay. I was okay. I did do well. Just get you breaking fast.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay.
By the grace of God, I'm okay.
Amen. Ramadan Kareem to you and all our Muslims brother out there.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Parker, we are trying to understand the situation that took place to Kinjor. Can you share with our listeners the background to the entire incident?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Are you hearing me?
No, not too well. Come again.
Now, we're asking if you can share with our listeners the beginning, the background to what was going on in Western cluster that led to the protest and what happened after that. So, can you share the background, the history of what is happening out there?
You mean in Kinjor, right?
Yeah, in Kinjor.
Okay. I was not there actually when you're talking about the riot. I was not in Kinjor when the riot started. I was on the other side where they call Matambo. Okay. That's where I was. So I was not actually in Kinjor.
Okay. So what do you know about the history of the situation in that area?
Well, the history is a very long history. Because myself, one of the former workers for Beer Mountain, the Turkish company called they call ancestral stroke MMG, using the lesson of BMMC, Beer Mountain Mining Company. So I was there working too. I worked there from 2017 up to 2022. 2022, and I was laid off by a company called Deco. I was working with Deco, and then a company obtained contract under BMMC, specialized in pit operating, and I was working there. One of the truck driver and also a trainer. I was responsible to train the truck drivers for Deco mining. And I was also a worker, or working with a worker union, a union representative. So I was returned from there when they say the contract ended in Kinjor with Deco. So I off, and then I left. I came by Monrovia. But the situation then over there is actually bad. A Liberian job I've been doing by the Turkish. The Turkish are refusing to even work with the Liberians. If the Turkish say, I don't want to work with you, it means you can't work in BRC no more. So when you're working with the Turkish guy, you must always work. Anything you say, come on, yes sir, boss. Because they have a daily hire process there. When you get to the company, you work as a daily hire. Whether you are trainee, whether you are excavator operator, whether you are dump truck driver, whether you are a roller operator, whether you are a missionary operator, you will work as a daily hire. And in that daily hire, you will work like 6 months. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. So you work as a daily hire for 6 months, and there is no process of making you, after 6 months, was there any process after 6 months of making you a full-time employee?
It's just by luck. If you are lucky, you'll be the full time. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
So you work like a daily hire first. And then that daily hire, you're working for 6 months as a daily hire. So the talking guy you're working with, which is your supervisor, you're working with each month, he should like your business. He should work in the land that he can be certified with you because they got some form. After you finish the list, all of your name there on that form, they say a verification form. So when they read your name on that form, the HR department will read all of you guys' name and send it to the Turkish guy. So when the Turkish guy say, I want to work with Vanny Parker, he okay, it means that he want to work with me. When he say, I don't want to work with Vanny Parker, he cross it means that you don't want to work with me at all. So I won't be lucky to be part of the workers that will get maybe another 6 month contract. If you don't want to work with me, then I'm done. I finish. Nothing can stop him from working with me. Nothing can stop me with working with him. So long you say you don't want to work with me. So I'm out and go out and wait until maybe if I'm lucky again and I come by in the system, maybe when I go by, I'll fall and get by there, or they call me by, I'll go and start at the higher again. So the only way you can work a contract as contractor for another 6 months if the talking guy want to work with you. Even myself, it happened to me. I work with an exploration group. We work in Matamu. From there, we went up Blama. Talking guys, they're working there as a supervisor. We need is Docker. You don't want to work with me. Because you don't want to work with me, and I can't work there. So they fire me from there. After they would lay me off first. They from 2017, I was laid off 2002. 2022 rather, 2022 I was laid off. I went by, I was lucky to get another daily hire, work with them to drive a small car because I'm a driver. To drive a small car. So they were paying me $7 for the 6 months. So I worked for one month. The guy said, no, you don't let me out. You want to work with me. So I will lay out again. And I have to go home, I have to come home and sit down for time. And then before, another 1 month, they called me back. And then I went again. I started with daily hire. And after daily hire, I worked for 6 months. And then the guy said, you don't want to work with me. And now I'm out because you don't want to work with me. So if the Turkish company, we call it, if the Turkish guy you're working with, you and them working together as your boss, supervisor, or manager, if they don't want to work with you, it means that you're not working with Beer Mountain. You're not working with BMC, there's no free work, no security of job. There is nothing. I believe those are the things that brought the protest in Kinjor the other day.
Okay. Yes, we heard. Okay, Mr. Parker. Now, when you were working there at that time, and let me just tell our listener, Mr. Parker was introduced to us by a colleague who had his history, and Mr. Parker is telling us on the show that he's actually not working with a Western cluster right now, but he's a former worker, and he was also in the union. So we will continue interviewing from the time he was there and his experience that he's sharing with us. So, Mr. Parker, when you were working at Western Union, if there were 10 person that was employed, for example, that were hired on a daily worker for a month, those 10 person, when it was at the end of the 6 months and we're trying to take them for contract, how many person you believe out of that 10 will be selected by these Turkish people?
Well, I told you earlier, when you're working with a Turkey man, you have to work with a man with a way and pleasure the way he want you to work. That's why you must work. You're not working because you learn, you have a technical know-how, or you have a trick in your head so that you can apply it. Anything he tell you, that's what you do. So the movement, the man tell you, say do this, you say no, boss. They want to be the best. They don't even want you to share idea with them. They don't want nobody share idea with them. They wouldn't want you to listen to them while they're doing the wrong thing, while they're doing the right thing. You all work together. If they go, you're doing that, and then they pay before they can come back. But what the one they're doing is the best thing. The Turkish guy, the one they're doing is the best. Don't get an idea. So if you're working with them, and you get there, family is they think with because you know you're a professional man, so you decide to work as a professional man. You say, this thing not good. Let's do it. Let's do it. They mean that the man will not let you. At the end of the day, man will put you out. Maybe if you're 10, worker there in a particular place that you're working with him, man will choose 3. Man will do 3 or 4, highest 5. The rest you'll go back. They bring in another group guys to come and work for another 6 months they hire. That is a normal thing. That is a normal thing in Beer Mountain.
Okay, so once you is there any Liberian supervisor? All the supervisor talk Turkish at Western Cluster when you're working there, or even as a former union worker up to now, when you talk to your friends in the union, are all the supervisors at DECO or that company Turkish?
Yes, all the company I work for on the mine work directly in the pit. We were responsible for open pit mining. So I work directly in the pit. Why about the pit? I know everything. I work from 2017 in the pit up to 2002. I work in the pit. 2022. I work in the pit. So all of that, I know all the people, the supervisors that were in our pit, they were talking guys. All of them were talking guys. There was no Liberian supervisor that were in the pit that I know about.
Okay, so now you were a union worker. What was the Ministry of Labor doing about this? Were the Ministry of Labor aware? Did you all have a meeting with the Ministry of Labor to bring this to the fore?
Yeah, we brought this to the board many times, and we even went for CBA. We crafted CBA that all managerial or supervisor position will be given the experience, because the problem is that the company is forward due now. It's supposed to give you gone for more than 10 years. So you want to tell me there is no Liberians that are here now are laying the supervisor position when they talking about get account to work in that position? But you say you have mining engineer. Mining engineer work in the mine for 10 years. You want to tell me they don't know nothing about mining? You still have to be the talking man to work as supervisor, Liberian engineer work under the man. That Liberian work in the mine for 10 years. You want to tell me that man don't get no idea about that mine? No, they get the idea, but they will not allow you. We went to labor. We discussed that, and we built a CBA, and the CBA should Liberians should get a priority in the work. It was just a fight.
Mr. Parker, not to stop your train of thought, can you tell our listener what CBE means?
Huh?
Can you tell our listener what the CBE means? The CBE you're talking about, what does it mean?
What the thing is CBE, collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
Collective bargaining agreement, because between the union and the management.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the collective bargaining agreement, which in short we call CBA, is an agreement between the union and the management for the protection of the worker, so that the worker can be protected by the CBA. Wherever you work in the company, and then that you don't have no union to get a CBA, it means that company is not a good company. It means that company don't got no rules. They will got their own rules that they will tell you, they will give it to you. But under the labor and the trade union affair, you have to get a CBA. The CBA is governing between the company and the workers. Maybe they say, for instance, that workers are supposed to get a benefit. The CBA, the one that will tell you that workers are supposed to get a benefit every month. You're supposed to get a benefit. You're supposed to get a leave. You're supposed to get a break to go and rest. Sorry, you go to rest. Maybe you go to your family and you rest for 2-3 days. That the CBA will tell you that. Maybe when you're sick, you gotta go for a medical. You get a medical insurance. You gotta go to a hospital or clinic, which is Activa. That CBA will give you that guideline what you need to do for the workers, and that's what they call the CBA. That's what we work on, and we brought it back there. We did that. We worked along with Ministry of Labor, and then it was the same thing that the supervisors will stay the Turkish. When the people come, we were under the union organization they call UU, United Worker Union of Liberia. UU. There was the mother union for us. We were the local union as Kinjor work at Beer Mountain, which is DECO. There's a company under DECO. And then because it worked while we did, even there over there, all that were in our reach as a union worker in a particular region that was serving. We even have a blank day now. We can't work for the company no more. We go in so many times. We try, no way. And recently, I went back to Matamo, where I told you that when the protests occurred, I was in Matamo. There's a new site that is opening to my village, closer to my village. From there to my village, unbeatable, about $200 ride from my village to where they opening the mine. That's where my mother from. My everybody, that's where I was born. I went there and I tried to get into the mine to work as a truck driver. As a truck we had, they call Kumasu, and I was operating for so many years. And I went and took the test, I passed. And then a stocky guy who the pit superintendent, who is Baton, he told me that he don't want to work with me. And up to now, as I say, man, told me he don't want to work with me, and he don't work with me. So I told him, why is the reason he don't want to work with me? He said, I was in the union when we used to go for adequate investigation for the workers. I used to back the worker against the company. So I always used to plead for the workers. So because of that, he can't work with me. I can't come back in assistant. Because coming back in assistant, it will cause another problem that I will come back with the same idea, a motive to be a union to educate the people. So because of that, I can't get in the system. I went there, I spent 3 months in Matamo, the town called Gugwema, where they pay the company I ran now. I spent 3 months there. I went for tests 2 times. On the truck 2 times. I went for test 2 times. And then up to now, I can get a job there because the talking guy told me, the talking guy, he was a supervisor in Deku. When we were working now, he came under BMMC as a pit superintendent. Pit superintendent, Liberia, you can do pit superintendent work. Liberia, you can do the mining engineers, they can do those things, they can do the pit engineer work. But you find the talkies, they're coming. Plenty to do all the work that Liberia is supposed to do. That what they are doing, Liberia has no freedom to work any of in that talking company. You see, I get a job, I'm working. No, it's not possible. Where I'm working directly on the mine. I'm not talking about other department. I don't know about other department, but I work with the mine directly open pit. We can open the pit and get the gravel out and get it to what they call material to the place that you grind it and make it out of pussy, which is gold. So all the time I work there, I have a steamer now. I go back to get job to do the man will say I can't work with you. And that's what I'm saying, I'm not working since. The company is in my country, I'm from Kidmouth, and I'm from the region where the company is based right now, Matamo. I can't get a job. I'm still blackmailed because I worked as a union representative before, and I for the worker on behalf of the worker. Up to now, I can't get a job there.
Okay, Mr. Parker, thank you for the information you're giving. When you were speaking before, you said you were being paid $7. Is it $7 an hour, $7 a day, or $7 a month?
$7 per hour. $7 per hour. Sorry, $7 per day. Sorry. $7 per day. We were making $7 per day. $7 per day. That was I was making. $7 per day as a light vehicle operator. $7 per day. And people are still there now, still making $7. You made that $7 for 6 months. And that 6 months, you made it $7 for 6 months, which is more and is $210. Now, why you get $210? Why it became $210 at $7? And you forced to work for overtime because the $7 will be small, so you work for overtime. So that overtime maybe when more, it's only like $350 per month.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Parker. Thank you for the information you're sharing. So if we take a step forward, let me just share with my viewers, because what Mr. Parker is sharing with us is something that we should think about. Our Liberian labor law makes it possible for Liberians in certain industry to be able to elevate to a place of work. Our Liberian labor law makes it possible for Liberians to be trained to take over from our brothers, foreign nationals who come into our country. So at the level of supervisor, one who have taken a company like B Mountain or company in the Western Cluster or DECO or whatsoever company is operating in mine, who have trained enough Liberians to be working in the line of supervisor. But according to Mr. Parker, all of the supervisors in the pit in the Western Cluster mining, in that Kinjor area and the other areas he have worked, he have not seen a single Liberian who have been elevated to that level. So, Mr. Parker, when you worked for this 6 months, or when you came back and your contract were extended, Was there any extra training that you all get after do you know of any of the other workers, those who were giving contract? Do you know if they were giving extra trainings that will qualify them to take on the capacity of a manager or take on the capacity of a supervisor?
My brother, Liberians are work on the mine, going on training for 10 years on our mine in our pit. Liberians are work there for 12 years. And then anything you see Liberians, Turkish men can do, Liberian men can do it in our pit. In the pit to supervise, Liberian men can do it. Because you don't need extra training right now, because if you go on the field, you are already trained on the field. You go on the field, you do the practical. And the practical training you are done on the field. So what kind of extra training you need? And a practical. The mining activities is practical. You are going there, they tell you, say, this excavator is mining, is mining in this place. They go there and say, from here going there, from here going about 50 meter, excavator is mining there. You get 2-3 excavators sitting there. They will tell you mining there. And our plane is coming from the planning department in the mine. And those planes, Liberians, the one that are sitting there producing the map, what you're supposed to do. Liberians, the one that are there. But Liberians are sitting there as a static clerk. Produce the map to the talking man, and the talking man will take it on the field and show it and come back. And after Liberian man finish making a report, then the talking man will put his knee there like he the one made the report. You go to all those areas. Liberians, the guys are sitting as a static clerk because they don't want producing everything in that place. Liberians, the one are producing the map of the pit. You are doing how many meters you are mining. Liberians, the one are producing it. They don't want that indoor office. They are taking it will be there, do it that they give it to me. Take it away, give it to me. You will not give the man no idea. The man will take all those things. He will get all those mapping, how many meters he's going to drill for, and then where all he's going to where all this is the ore, this is the waste. The Liberian man drill all that thing. When you're talking about you can't stand there, you're smoking, then end of the day, like he's doing the work, but you're not doing it. The whole mine in Bear Mountain, Liberians can do all the work. You don't need expert. People are already trained all the fee. You have mining engineers here. You know how many Liberian mining engineers are here, are not working? You go there, you see the Turkish, they say they are mining engineers. Liberians are there working under them. They say they are engineers, but the men got to be training them. I was in the training department as a driver. I trained a lot of drivers that were working with a company called Deco. They are now. They're not in Liberia again. I trained them. They brought a guy, I don't know nothing about the truck. We trained them about the truck. The Kumasu, the Mercedes, we trained them about it. We told them everything what to do, but stay the beginning of our boss because we are Liberians. And we used to get into the position. But because we spoke against those things yesterday, that the position for Liberia when we were in the union, up to now, we can get back to work in our country. Not forget about our country, but in our country, where our neighbors were buried, where we came from, where the company, the resources are there for us. We can't get back there. We are still sitting without no work. In Liberia, Turkish are there working. You go there, you see that they are working plenty. Plenty guys are there working. In the pit, they are there working. But Liberia, they want to do all it. They are behind it. They are the one that are the brain behind all those things. When you finish doing the American, you stand there, put it in there and send it to the boy like he do it. But not he do it. But because Liberia are not to serve in those positions as a manager, as a supervisor, as a superintendent, right? They don't as an engineer. They don't get it. They don't get the opportunity because the guys are there suppressing them. Somebody will tell you say no. And the Liberians that in those position are also there in the highest country manager position.
Okay, Mr. Parker. Yeah, Mr. Parker. We have a few minutes to go on the show, but I would like to come back to the incident in Kinjor. To the best of your knowledge, I know you were not there. Can you share with us, have your colleagues that have worked there share with you what was happening and what led to the protest and eventually led to the demise of some of your friends there in Kinjor?
Well, it's the same bad labor practice that brought the protest in Kinjor. It's the same feel to do the right thing for the people in the affected community. Those are the things. in the affected community to do the right thing. They are not being done at all. You don't tell me people will be lazy in the environment as where you taking millions of tons from. Then the people do not even have safe drinking water to drink. They don't have a good road to get to them. They don't have a good housing facility. They don't have nothing they call electricity. But you're not getting their water like electricity you talk about. They don't have it. So that those things the people submitted accounts to the legislator of the district 2, because Kinjor is built in district 2. They gave the petition to the legislator that this is the thing the people doing here to us, and we have talked to them many times. They can't change. Why they can't change? So this is a problem that already caused the protest job, because the company were not doing the right thing for the people. If the company was doing the right thing, there was no big protest in Kinjor. You are doing undermining to the place. You are doing striking mineral on the place. Then the people are living there, they are not benefiting. People are living there, they are not benefiting. They are just there, and the job has not been given to them. It's given to the package. They bring a lot of people. They put them to the place. You see all the jobs that will be there. You see a document will be supervising. People that will be washing clothes, talking will be supervising. People that will be cooking in the kitchen, talking will be supervising. People that will be baking bread, talking will be supervising. People that will be doing cleaning up, talking will be supervising. Can you imagine that? People that will be cleaning around the camp, pressing around the camp, talking will be supervising. Why? Just to press. That's why you've been talking about the supervisor to press, to sweep, to make up bed. For God's sake, to make up bed. To make up bed. Who not able to make up bed? That's we get men that can do that. You've been talking about the supervisor to do that, to supervise, to do the work. Librarian can do it. If librarian there, or the talking there will be the supervisor for that job. Librarian man doing the work. He's sitting now, he's smoking. When you say you can't report, when you toss on the middleman, say, you know, where were you? I say, you know, where were you? You will be fired. So everybody will be working. They're scared. They're afraid. So those are the things that brought the protest in Kinjor. I believe those are the things, because I was there before. I lived in Kinjor from 2017 up to 2022. I left from there. I was in Kinjor. Even during the campaign time, I went in Kinjor. I was there. During the 2023 campaign, I was there. I spent time there. Like the thing we hear everybody saying, there is no good facility for the people. And you are carrying the mineral, and the pit that in Kinjor is finished. We were there when the pit closed. The pit closed. The open pit that we were working on, the one that got poured down, the pit closed. Now they are doing underground. Underground get a lot of people. If you get 50% on one pit or 25%, it's too much. Here and there. But the open pit can take over 500 people, 600 people. So the open pit finish, it closed. Nothing there again. They want to be small underground, and then they're taking a goof on there now, washing it. So they try to extend to other areas. They both finishing the whole land in Kima County. So those are the things. You go to another place called Weju, that what they do there under mining. You go to another place they call Gokian, Daplama, that what they doing there under mining. The people you go into the area that people took the huge $1 million fund, ounces, tons of gold. Nothing you are seeing doing that. So that's why the people that are brought the protest. They're going to put it, they're not benefiting. And the resources is going away from them. So when the children come tomorrow, what would they live on? So that what brought it, because they want a better life. They want a better living condition.
Okay, Mr. Vanny, thank you so much. We have a few minutes to close, but I highly appreciate your time. But one other question I want to ask you, because it's like to say that Western cluster is mining, and have we been making mistake on our show? The Western cluster, are they mining gold or they mining iron ore?
Well, I can't tell you about the Western cluster. I keep talking. Western cluster is different from Beer Mountain.
Oh, okay, Beer Mountain. Sorry, my bad. Beer Mountain. Are they mining gold or they mining iron ore?
Beer Mountain is in the Western Belt, which is Cape Mount.
Okay.
The Pacific in Cape Mount. And Western cluster is in Thomas Bread. So I don't know much about Western cluster. I'm speaking directly about BMMC, Beer Mountain Mining Company.
Okay.
What is that in Kinjor? They are doing gold mining. BMMC is doing gold mining. They are mining ounces of gold. They are doing gold mining.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Parker. We appreciate the time you spent with us having this conversation. Thank you for giving us insight on this. We and thank you so much for your time. Again, Ramadan Kareem, and may Allah hear your prayers.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I will be waiting anytime you call me for more information.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to apologize that Western Cluster does not operate. The company Western Cluster does not operate in the Kinjor area. It's B Mountain, so we deeply apologize for using that on the show. It is B Mountain. Mr. Parker have corrected us that it's B Mountain that operates there. We also apologize for saying mining. What B Mountain is doing is gold mining and not iron ore mining in that area. So at least we have the history. There are several things that we have to think about as a people of Liberia. One, we have a company that is mining gold. Two, this company is not preparing Liberians to be able to support to support leadership. You hear Mr. Parker saying over and over again that even at the level of supervisor, people are being brought from Turkey to take over this position. We are going to be running a program on Uncover that's going to look at industries and positions that have been set aside by law, the Liberian law, for Liberians to own. We cannot develop a country, we cannot lift our country to a higher level by continuously being second-class citizen in any of the industry in our country. Our people significantly have to be trained. So one of the situations we have going on in B Mountain, and I forgot to ask about the new government involvement, which was one of the questions I would have liked to ask, is that the situation in B Mountain is that there's a need for the Liberian government for how they call it for Liberian workers to be trained at least at the level of supervisor and then other levels. The second issue that is being brought to bear is that an agreement was put in place. The contractual agreement between the union and B Mountain was put in place. The Ministry of Labor is fully aware of this agreement. My question is, what is the Ministry of Labor doing about that agreement? Whereby you have disgruntled workers, or you have workers being hired on the 6 months as daily hire, and after 6 months, when it's time to contract them into contractual workers or full-time workers, many of them are laid off, and then they are rehired. You see, they lay them off and then they rehire them. Then they have to start again as daily hire. I think that is difficult for me to understand. That is difficult to appreciate. Mr. Sherff, that's the situation we have, and that's why led to this riot, and then several of our brothers and sisters were killed in the process.
You see, I'll tell you this. Yeah, I'll tell you this. I think it is a deliberate choice. It is very intentional, because what they are doing there, though, I operate something, with my employer I work for. I bring people on board who are independent contractors, and then we have some people who are employees. So the independent contractors, we do not have that. The labor law does not apply to them because they are independent contractor. We can give you a 1099. So I don't need to give you medical benefit. Yeah. I don't need to give you insurance. I don't need to do any of those. But I can only go so long with that particular process, right? So at the end of the time, you want to bring these people full time. And I think that is the reason why they're going back and laying them off, because you started the process over as independent contractor or as day labor. I think what actually blew my mind was the whole idea that it was possible for someone to actually serve in a position as a day laborer for 7 months. If this person's a day laborer, you have no obligation to them. They come today, you hire them today. If they go in a mine and God forbid something happened, they die, you are not liable. That your liability does not extend to them. And I think that is the deliberate choice. That is what they are doing. And I think it is the labor ministry that should really be involved to make sure to say, look, this is not how it works in this country. And these are the things that we need to put in place to safeguard our people as they work. $7 a day. Wow. That is, man, that's some cheap labor there. I know we talk about cheap labor all around the world, but that's some cheap labor. $7 a day, 8 or 9 hour shift. That is something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not only 8 or 9 hour shift, it's a dangerous environment also. $7 a day working in an extremely dangerous environment. But yet instead these people are exporting tons and tons of gold from our country to other parts of the world. And
Mhm.
uh and not only that, they pay our workers $7 a day, but hiring a lot of people, Turkish people, to come in and take supervisory position, because they satisfying the employing quota of the Turkish the Turkish sponsor, the national country. They
Yeah.
satisfy that employment quota of national country of the nation of their country of origins, where they are registered as a company. But then our brothers and sisters does not have the opportunity to climb the mountain, they climb the ladder and fill in those capacity. Because if you bring, I totally agree with you. If you have if you are a contractor, you don't get benefits. You don't get. Uh, I mean, only few companies will even give you some form of. In fact, they will even recommend you to places where you don't
Mhm.
even get insurance. You get insurance and other things. So the liability is minimal. So there are a lot of companies that like a nice system here, like in the US, but they challenge it. What is challenging to me is that is the fact that these workers do not they are hired. There's a pattern, and I think someone need to study this pattern because they are laid off and
Mhm.
retire. So if they were laid off and you say, okay, this person is not good enough for this job, then the reason of rehiring them every 6 months you are laying them off for 1 2 months and rehiring them is a pattern our ministry need to understand, because again, as you said, it's deliberate. It is that there's a reason they're doing it, because they don't want to take on full responsibility for these people. Someone need to understand this pattern and either take this company to court of it or make them to correct it, because there is a pattern. You lay off people because you feel they are not necessary. They cannot do the work. They don't have the skills. I
Mhm.
know. But the next thing is that if you train a person to a level where the person becomes a trainer, in most countries, most companies I have worked with, once you are elevate someone to a level of a trainer, that person is a supervisor.
That's
So
right.
you
And
cannot
and there's no way you can have an independent contractor or day laborer to serve in that particular capacity,
exactly.
because in that particular dangerous mining place, you're following the regulation, to the safety regulation. Here in our world they call it OSHA, right? You're following all of these regulation by OSHA, because the person who is actually conducting that training, he or she will have been trained by their employer. And not only that, but that person has to also be certified by the state or by the county, wherever they are, that he or she is a certified trainer. Because if none of that actually fall in place, so our brother who was just on the show, I'm trying to be very careful, because who knows if they blackmail him. They already blackmail him for
Mhm.
not for standing up to the big bosses. They don't want to hire him anymore. But you never know. These guys, they stand up and they sort of want to do the right thing, and then they actually get put on a blacklist that they cannot be hired anymore because they consider them to be whistleblowers. But it's disheartening. It is heartbreaking sitting here backstage listening to his story. It's just one of those things that break my heart, man. I mean, I hire people, I get rid of people, and even when I'm trying to get rid of someone, the communication that I'm conveying to that person, I have to be very careful, because whatever I say to that person can come back and say, you know what, this was a discrimination, this was a retaliation, this was so and so and so. And I could be paying that person millions of dollars simply because of what I say when I get rid of that person. And that is why sometimes you write them up 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and you
Yeah.
provide additional training, because there are laws that protect these people, but we don't have such thing in the country. It breaks my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, the point that I've got to me is that if you have someone you are using as a trainer, and he's training all your drivers that drive those dangerous equipment. how do you lay that person off? Because that person to me is an asset already. If that person is training, it means you have elevated him to a level of trust that you trust this person to do this training. So laying that person off after 6 months is something that I'm trying to get around my head, because I believe that that person should be an integral part of the first person or first group of people on the list to retain for contractual hiring would be the person who in 6 months time, that person have become a trainer.
Yeah.
It shows the level the level of ability they have, the capacity they have that they bring it on board to that company.
Yeah,
So
and it's also discouraging when he talks about the poor working condition. I know we have read some of that, we have talked about it, but the poor working condition, I mean, it's something as simple as having a very good, clean drinking water, and they can have it, somewhere for them to go and ease themselves if they have to use the restroom. They don't have it, and they drive them like just forced labor, and you're paying someone $7 a day and you still can provide some sort of benefit. They do that because they do not want to provide that benefit. I am curious to know what's in the labor law. And that's why when he was talking about the CBA, I said, man, the CBA is a good thing. That collective bargaining agreement, that's a good thing. So where is the CBA when this ill treatment is taking place? What is the CBA bargaining for? Or is it just a body that sit there that does nothing? When you talk about CBA, I mean, companies shut down in this country over CBA. The NBA, they shut it down because of that CBA agreement. They shut it down. They said, we're not going to play the whole season, play half season.
Even the actors were almost 1 year. The actors were on strike.
The actors almost 1 year because the body come and negotiate the fight hard. So what is the role of that CBA?
And that is negotiated with the company, the union workers, and the Ministry of Labor. So the question is the overall union over this, what are they doing about this thing? So when this heartbreaking situation took place in in B Mountain in Kinjor, it's a situation where thousands of us have to say, look, what the labor ministry have to be called to question. The union, the overall umbrella union, need to be called to question, because those people that died because the CBA that was put into place have not been implemented to the letter by our people who are leading the unions, our people who were part of the negotiation on behalf of the Ministry of Labor, and therefore, we are in this is an extractive mineral industry. Those minerals that are being removed, the gold that is being taken up, there is no way those gold can be replenished, can be put back in the ground. Once it is taken out, it is taken out. And that's the reason why our people should know this. Let's take example, a country like Dubai. Dubai had oil for a certain amount of time, and it's been told that the oil now is the oil in Dubai is about depleted. It's almost finished, but they were able to reinvest that money into making a country the travel hub of for that part of the world. There's nowhere you want to go to in Europe or Asia with a very good airline that you may not find yourself stopping in Dubai. They have made the country a economic capital where you do businesses. Many business people come over there to sell, and so they were able to find something else to replace the oil that they were losing under the ground. Now we as people, we have all these millions of dollars of gold leaving our country, and there's nothing we have in place to show our workers are still working for $7 a day in a dangerous situation. The community is not benefiting from this, but yet they're still hundreds of acres of our land is being mined and being sent out, and our workers cannot even become supervisors
in our own country. They can't be, they can't be supervisors. And not only that, you are contributing to the climate change. You are contributing to the erosion process, and all of these things could be things that will be taking place. I think Mr. George froze there for a second. But guys, I think we have come to the end of the show. I think I would just say it as I have been saying on the show. Look, I think when we are bringing companies to our country, we should not just think about ourselves. when companies are coming to the country or investors are coming to the country, we should not only think about ourselves and our children, because most of these companies, when they come and they give something, they put something in the hand of these ministers or put something into the hand of these lawmakers. The lawmakers, they actually get their cut, they get the kickback, everybody get what they want to get. What tends to happen is people forget the local people in that particular community. And now the local people are the ones who actually suffer. They are the ones who go through all of the hardship. Whether drinking water is polluted, it is the common people. Whether you have a place where there's no hospital, it is the common people. You have a place where there's no better education, it's the common people that experience that. And so it is truly my hope. It is truly my hope that the labor department, the labor ministry, and also the lawmakers in those areas, people can come together and say what worked best for our people. Involve the local people. Involve the local people in those decision-making processes. Let them be part of it. How can they benefit from their own resources? How can they do it? What can we do to make this place a better place for the people to live? Let us not take this cheap labor. Let us not take the shortcut and take our kickback and then forget about the people. They are the ones who live in that area. They are the people who are the caretaker of that particular land. They have been there and they deserve to benefit from it. So, I mean, that's just my little take on that. And I would just like Mr. George close the broadcast. And again, we want to say thank you to everybody. Again, these are the kind of discussion that we love to have on this platform because, again, I opened the show by saying what happened in one part of Liberia, it is only a matter of time before it spread over. Today, we are talking about Kinjor, Grand Cape County. We will be talking about LAC, Firestone, or we may be talking about another company somewhere in Grand Bassa. You got a very good port in Grand Bassa. And all of these things could be happening around the country. If we don't take stand as a country to say, look, this is what our people deserve. This is what they need to have to make sure that they have a safe working environment. This is going to continue to happen. Thank you, Mr. George. I'll let you just close the broadcast, but that was my 2 cents for today. I'll let you close the broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us on Liberia Rise Uncovered program. Uncovered is when we look at the story behind the story. It is easy for you to read a newspaper and just get the headlines. But understanding what goes on is extremely important. That's what we bring to you. We have shared with you what was happening in B Mountain in Kinjor area. You heard Mr. Vonnie Parker, a worker who was hired by the company as a daily hire, paid $7 a day, lay off, rehire as a daily worker. He rose to the rank of even becoming a trainer, but yet them still, he was being supervised by foreign nationals. This is the extractive mineral industries. There's X number of years attached to those minerals. They won't be there forever. It is only now that our people can benefit from it. And it behooves every one of us as Liberians to be able to speak up about these things. Today, we hope that our friends at the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy listen to this and get involved. Liberians should be able to enjoy the benefits of their country, of their land. The people of Cape Mount County should be able to enjoy the benefits of their labor and of their land. It is only that, and only at that time, can we start to see that Liberia is moving on its rightful path, and Liberia will definitely rise again. Again, my name is Emmanuel George, and thank you so much for being on the edition of Liberia Rise Uncovered. See you and have a great time.